Welcome back to the MetroLax Series live stream at allmetsports.com. Again, I'm Monica Moore, and I'm joined by Cab Maddox, former National Attackman of the Year. And Cab, we're here for the boys WCAC tournament final, the Gonzaga Eagles versus the DeMatha Stags. This is a huge game. The fans here are really excited, and we're expecting a good one.
Yeah, it is a packed house, and these guys are big rivals, and they always play a heated game, so I'm extremely excited.
Well, and speaking of playing to heated games, last year Gonzaga was in this tournament final, and one of their players, Matt Borda, had a life-changing experience. He hits an 80-yard goal. It's on YouTube. It's had over 2 million hits. Absolutely phenomenal. So let's take a look at that goal and a package about Matt Borda and how that changed his life.
More people know who I am, I guess, now, just from SportsCenter and just from all the news outlets. Not really. I wouldn't say I have more friends or anything, but I'd just say more people are just conscious of who I am and the school, I guess.
It's fun to get your program and your school on SportsCenter and on the news. That's really cool. Our kids work really hard, and so does Matt, who did that. He's a great kid. He's a great student, and I was excited. It became repetitive after a while, but it's unique. It's something that's never happened before, and the stars had to align for something like that to happen.
I didn't see the ball go in, actually. I just saw the net move, and then everyone started running around. So I knew something big had happened, but it was just a funny experience more than incredible.
Well, certainly Matt Borda was an impact player last year in the WCAC tournament final. But Cal, let's talk a little bit about who you expect to be impact players this year for both Gonzaga and DeMatha.
Okay, first for Gonzaga, you have to start with Connor Reed. He's their Player of the Year of the WCAC for this year, and probably will be considered for All-Met Player of the Year as well. And if they win today, might very well could get that award. I think the midfielders today are the players to watch. Joe Fitzpatrick has had an outstanding year. Matt Bowman balances out the first line. Jimmy Kuzma, coach at Gonzaga, wants to run and gun. He wants to push tempo, and it's up to those middies, those outstanding middies for Gonzaga. So look at them early on to see if they can control the tempo. For DeMatha, it starts with Nick Ramsey in the cage. Coach Morrison for DeMatha is stressing that Nick Ramsey has to have a big game. He's going to lean on him heavily. He's only a sophomore, but he made second team All WCAC. And following up with Nick Ramsey, Michael Parker and Garrett Haskin, the defensive short stick middies, who are two of the best defensive players on the team and in the league, frankly, both making WCAC. And also Bob Bigelow, their face-off guy who's headed to Hampton-Sydney and made honorable mention WCAC. Look for those guys to have an impact early and often.
Well, and of course, Connor Reed, you mentioned him for Gonzaga. Later on, we're going to have a package about Connor Reed because, as you said, Cap, he's one of the best players, if not the best player in the area. People very excited to see him play, and certainly excited to see what he's going to do on the next level. But a lot more business to be conducted here today as Gonzaga is looking for their third straight WCAC tournament championship. Meanwhile, DeMatha looking to end that streak.
Yeah, DeMatha's won 18 overall lacrosse titles, and Gonzaga's won 5. So even though Gonzaga's on a hot streak right now with 2 in a row, there's still quite a disparity. You can see there's a lot of tradition and pride in the DeMatha lacrosse alumni and family.
Absolutely, just a great history with that program, and they're looking to build on that here today. And we will briefly pause for the prayer and the national anthem.
We come to you to praise and bless your name. We are grateful for the blessings of our communities and the grace that gathers us together. We ask you to bless our competition with safety for our athletes, wisdom for our coaches, and fighting spirit for all who are here. Inspire us to respect each other with the common dignity that we share as your sons and daughters, now and forever. Amen. It's time now to meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Stags and DeMatha,
All right, and so Cal, we've talked about some impact players for tonight's contest. What are the keys to the game tonight for DeMatha?
Okay, well, first of all, DeMatha is not quite as quite as deep offensively, so they're going to try to confuse the Gonzaga offense by mixing defenses. What I mean by that is they're going to throw man-to-man, they're going to throw zones, they're going to throw some shutoffs. They're going to try to mix it constantly so Gonzaga offense can never get comfortable or get into rhythm. Secondly, DeMatha coach Morrison said they want to find and finish transition opportunities. And this is not an easy team to find transition opportunities on against Gonzaga, but if one pops up, he says they got to capitalize on it because you don't have very many opportunities. And they are a good transition team. Third, the strongest part of their team I alluded to when talking about impact players is their defensive short stick middies, Michael Parker and Garrett Haskin. Those guys have to shut down the potent and very deep Gonzaga midfielders if DeMatha wants to win.
All right, and then let's talk a little bit about the keys for this Gonzaga team that no one in the WCAC has been able to figure out this year.
Or the region or the country, for that matter. They've beaten teams like Boyce Latin, who one of the top teams in the country. And Gonzaga, my last check on ESPN rankings, was number 7 in the country. So we'll see if DeMatha can do it. But for Gonzaga, Coach O'Neill wants to utilize his strong close defense, those 4 Division I lacrosse commits, to shut down the DeMatha offense. He wants to play fast and push tempo and utilize his depth and score in transition as much as possible. So, and also I think also one thing, he wants to be sure his players don't sleep on DeMatha. This is a much improved DeMatha team that they beat 10-4, and they may be thinking as players, because they're young boys, I would beat them by 6. This is not going to be that big of a game. But in fact, DeMatha is much improved. They've taken down great programs like St. Mary's Riken recently, and convincingly, and really turned their program around after a slow start. So Gonzaga can't sleep on DeMatha. They have to respect them if they want to beat them.
Well, I think it's a good point, and of course we just had the girls WCAC tournament final where we saw Holy Cross, the underdog, defeat the 8-time reigning champions, Good Counsel. So you certainly can never sleep on the competition. As you said, these two teams have already faced each other earlier this year, but at this stage of the season, teams are different teams.
Completely different teams. I mean, I've been impressed with DeMatha's turnaround. They have a good, solid core of seniors who are going to look to lead. We have to look for them to lead. They also have an extremely talented sophomore class. The goalie Ramsey is a sophomore, and they have some other sophomores we'll talk about as the game gets rolling here. We're going to go to the anthem.
And now we will take a brief pause for the playing of the national anthem. Expecting a great matchup here tonight between these two teams. If you would like to purchase a copy of this broadcast or any of the games in the Metro LAC series, go to www.synthesismp.com. And now let's join the third member of our broadcast team, Leah Reich, with a report from the sidelines.
The back of DeMatha's warm-up shirts say, don't just show up 10%. I talked to head coach Scott Morrison before the game, and he told me his guys are excited and they're ready to play 100%. It also looks like the crowd is 100% ready to go out here. Coach Scott Morrison told me that there will be ebbs and flows in his guys' play. They are young, but he expects them to come out and play like juniors and seniors from the very beginning of this game.
Well, thanks, Leah. And we talked a little bit about that. Of course, this team very different from the team that lost 10-4 to the Gonzaga Eagles earlier this season. But I think very important, Cab, for DeMatha to get off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, they better tie their shoes tight, tie their shorts, buckle up, because this is going to be a battle. Gonzaga's going to bring it. And DeMatha hasn't been here in three years. They used to dominate this in the early 2000s. They just went on a huge run. Let's see if they can start their streak again now.
Of course, coming into this final, Gonzaga is the #1 seed. They are 19-1 on the year. As you said, really, very few people have figured out how to beat them. The only loss to McDonough, and that was back on March 26th. So they have not lost since March 26th. Meanwhile, this DeMatha team trying to hand them their second loss of the season as we get ready for our opening face-off of tonight's contest. And of course, face-offs always important, but will be particularly important tonight as both teams want to win possession, battle for the loose ball, and Gonzaga is going to come up with it to start things off in this WCAC tournament final. They quickly push ahead and set up their offense.
And they've gone, Sean Whitcomb, who's been a starter all year for him, had a concussion. He's actually cleared for the game tonight, but they're still not going to start him. So they've been going with Daniel O'Barry, Patrick Myers, and Alex Corboy on attack for the last few weeks.
And of course, this Gonzaga team, they have so many offensive weapons. It is a huge loss to them to not have had Sean Whitcomb, but
looks like number 23 is face guarding Connor Reed. Number 23 for DeMatha, Michael Parker, is actually literally face guarding him and pushing him with his stick and trying to frustrate Connor. I've already seen them both swipe at each other a little bit. Connor's got to stay calm and get the ball. You can see they're going to play 5-on-5 lacrosse, it looks like right now, for a little bit.
Gonzaga's first shot by Matt Bowman. Cab, you've already talked a little bit about Bowman, and he does have possession. And hands off now to number 8, Patrick Myers. Gonzaga, a lot of movement. Myers with the shot, the stop by Nick Ramsey, the sophomore goalkeeper for DeMatha.
Yeah, he needs to have a huge game, as we talked about, as the key to victory. And that's a nice first. It's always nice to get that first shot saved. The first one goes in, then you start questioning yourself, but first shot save is great.
Meanwhile, very clear that Gonzaga planning to pepper the goal. We saw 2 shots there, one by Bowman as well.
Looks like people can't get in here, Monica. There's people sitting around the outside perimeter. You can't see it on your camera, but people are waiting to get in or can't fit in here. It's completely packed.
And of course, luckily they can watch this at allmetsports.com if they can't get into the building, but lots of people very interested in tonight's contest. This is a huge rivalry between these two teams and people expecting for a hard-fought battle tonight. Nice defense, but DeMatha hanging on to possession, looking for number 24, Bobby Bigelow, but not able to connect on the pass.
Yeah, Gonzaga doubled the ball, put it on the ground, and DeMatha, to their credit, was fierce and got it right back.
And now DeMatha with possession. But now a battle for the ground ball early in this first quarter, 9 minutes, 29 seconds remaining as Gonzaga comes up with it. A nice play by Luke Miller.
Yeah, that was a great ground ball and transition by Luke, and now they have a little bit of a break here.
That shot by number 18,
off the crossbar.
Alex Corboy. And to follow both of these two teams, you can get all of your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news at allmetsports.com. A product of the Washington Post. Every school, every sport, all the time.
You can see that 23 right there is already matched up on Connor. Not sure he can stay with Connor with the short stick. That's probably going to happen a lot right there.
Great
Another one
pass.
off the pipe.
Shot by Brian Murray.
2 shots off the pipe.
It has been friendly so far for
Goalie's best friend.
the DeMatha Stags, but again, Gonzaga coming out firing, and Connor Reed trying to get that going, looking for Brian Murray, who has 12 goals on the year. Meanwhile, Bobby Bigelow bringing the ball down the field for DeMatha. The Stags, quick shot number 19, Steve Partlow, goes long. Backed up by number 7, James Rogers. Now Rogers with possession behind the goal, defended by Miller. Trying to pass across the mouth of the goal, but intercepted by this Gonzaga defense that has been strong in the early goings.
It looks like DeMatha is not afraid to try to push tempo, and they didn't say they were going to try to slow it down. The coach absolutely did not say we're going to try to hold it. It looks like they're not afraid to push it, make mistakes, and then try to take their chances with some goals, some easier goals in transition. We'll see how that unfolds here as the first quarter goes, though.
And
not easy to do on the Gonzaga close defense.
Gonzaga turnover gives possession back to DeMatha. The Stags looking to clear the ball. Michael Parker working through traffic, looking to set up the offense for DeMatha. DeMatha quickly getting the ball down the field. Nice job on the clear by the Stags. We are scoreless, 7 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and now an unforced error by the Stags.
Yeah, this is a little bit faster than I thought it would be, but DeMatha's not backing down. They're as athletic as any team. It's just a matter of experience and skill. We'll see if they have it to match Gonzaga's. Gonzaga's put their second midfield line on here with 3 juniors. They always try to start the game with 3 seniors on the first line, Bowman, Reed, and Murray, and 3 juniors on the second line in Planning, Kuzma, and Fitzpatrick.
And again, Gonzaga with the luxury, they have so many dynamic players that they can substitute in at will. Working to clear the ball is Jack Slater, one of the defensive standouts for this Gonzaga team.
Yep, he's one of the 4 guys going to play college. He's committed to Bucknell. He's only a junior, actually. Coach Federaca, but Bucknell's already locked him up. You can see why.
And now Gonzaga settling into their offense once again, showing a little patience here.
Trying to see if DeMatha's in a zone. I know they're going to mix defenses constantly, but we'll see how they're going to play. This looks like they're staying in man-to-man for now.
Myers will hand off to Corboy. Trying to test this DeMatha defense earlier. We've already seen a couple of quick shots by Gonzaga, but not able to score a goal yet. Already a save by Nick Ramsey, and as we talked about, a couple of shots that hit the pipe. And that shot
It's 2
by
pipes for
Corboy.
Corboy's getting to step on his guy. He's firing it. He's a Hobart commit, and as a Hobart alum myself, I'm happy to see him going there. He's really improved his game, and especially his dodging this year.
Certainly been impressive on the year for Gonzaga. Nice defense by DeMatha, really pressuring number 33, Max Planning, but Planning able to hang on to possession.
Alex Corboy just was awarded first team all WCAC. A lot of these guys from Gonzaga, as you can imagine, were awarded.
Nice save by the goalkeeper Ramsey. That shot by Joe Fitzpatrick. A long-range shot, no problem for the sophomore goalkeeper.
That was a heater. I mean, that shot, Fitzpatrick's one of the hardest shooters on this team, and that was probably going at least 90 miles an hour. Now, it wasn't placed very well, but the goalie picked that up like it was going about 60 miles an hour. This goalie is very good. He was second team all WCAC awardee this year behind Justin Rosenberg at St. John's, so he's the second best goalie in the conference.
And of course, Nick Ramsey, only a sophomore, as we've said, his DeMatha team. Once again on defense, another quick shot. This one once again by Corboy, goes long, backed up by Daniel O'Barry.
DeMatha completely blew that ride there and gave up an easy fast break to Gonzaga. They're lucky to get away with no goals there.
And now Connor Reed operating behind the goal, trying to break free. He draws a lot of attention no matter where he is on the field. Connor Reed, such a great creator. And again, we will have more on Connor Reed later on. But now Alex Corboy, who's had a number of shots in this contest, looking for another one. That one goes high over the top of the net.
That was good defense by number 25, Garrett Haskin, who's headed to Navy, actually, to play lacrosse. One of the better athletes and leaders on this team. And now they're gone back to face guarding Connor Reed, number 35.
Corboy again.
That's Corboy's 5th shot.
Corboy's
Unfortunately,
certainly
he's
feeling
over
it.
5.
But certainly you have to expect Corboy is going to continue shooting. 37 goals already on the year, a few more than he had last season. And Corboy's certainly feeling it tonight, looking to make an impact in this WCAC tournament final.
Gonzaga's going to the invert, which means they're taking the middies behind and dodging from behind the goal, putting the attackman all above the goal. Let's see if that's a way to break up this DeMatha defense.
Right now
Looks
it's
like they got set up
Corboy.
right here. They go again.
Corboy set up behind the goal, trying to make a move on his man. Corboy finally, 6th time is the charm for Alex Corboy.
He actually went to his left. That was his first lefty shot, so maybe he should shoot lefty every time.
Well, you knew he was going to keep shooting, and eventually Alex Corboy was going to find the back of the net. So with 4 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in this first quarter, Alex Corboy scores the first goal of the day, putting Gonzaga on top 1-0.
I'm not sure why DeMatha had a short stick on him. Maybe they had slided, hadn't switched back, but they got a slide earlier to Alex Corboy versus a short stick.
Battle for the ground ball. Gonzaga coming up with it. Nice play by Eric Baumgartner. Baumgartner, quick shot. Read all the way by Nick Ramsey. Ramsey with the long clearing pass. And now Bobby Bigelow bringing the ball down the field for DeMatha, looking to tie things up. Slater with aggressive defense. Flag is up.
Got him on the hold. He threw a wrap check, and they just called him for a quick hold.
3 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in this first quarter. DeMatha with possession. And their sophomore goalkeeper has had a couple of beautiful saves to start this contest. Has really been a bright spot in this first quarter for DeMatha.
This is an opportunity for DeMatha here to stay close. They want to stay close as the game starts, especially because they don't want to get behind early. That could be bad day for them. Now they did a good job in the first game. It was 3-2 Gonzaga late into the second quarter, so they have the ability to stay close.
Austin Petty looking for the shot, deflected, and it will be Gonzaga ball.
That was not a smart shot by number 11, Austin Petty. He shot it underhand and didn't have an alley or a good angle.
So a rush shot by DeMatha, and now possession back with Gonzaga. Already up by 1, courtesy of Alex Corboy. And this is Matt Bowman bringing the ball up the field for Gonzaga. Myers working behind the goal. He'll hand off to Corboy.
Nice look.
Bounce shot. Deflected by the goalkeeper, and Ramsey coming up with a couple of big saves as Matt Bowman trying to test the goalkeeper, but Ramsey so far has been extremely impressive.
One of the keys to victory, the coach said he needs. That would have been exactly what Coach Morrison wanted right there. An easy, quick transition goal off an incredible save by their one of their top players and their goalie.
Michael Parker with that shot, but it gives possession back to Gonzaga. And the defensive players
That one, yeah. They really needed that one.
for DeMatha have really been working hard, including Nick Ramsey, because Gonzaga so far has owned time of possession in this first quarter. They've gotten a lot of shots on goal so far as Slater bringing the ball down the field for Gonzaga. Now he'll head back, and the Eagles will set up their offense. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. A low-scoring affair so far.
This is kind of like last game. It was 3-2 late into the second, and then they exploded for a 6-goal run that Gonzaga did, that is.
And that's exactly how dangerous this Gonzaga team is. They can go on those big runs, so DeMatha does not want to let them build up a lot of momentum.
Yeah, Nick Ramsey's keeping them in the good game right now, single-handedly.
Since 1997, Madlax is lacrosse for DC, Maryland, and Virginia families.
Number 33, Max Planning, just shot the ball low and hard. I think that right now what I've seen is that Ramsey will stop everything high. I think you got to try to keep going low like Lanning did there if you want to score. But that was a good hard rip below his hip. And I can see Coach O'Neill's down talking to Connor Reed right now, telling him to keep his cool because he's getting shut off. And I know how frustrating that can be to be face guarded, but you just have to wait for the ball and let it come to you because you got other players in the team who can get you the ball, and also you can pick the ball out of bounds. There's plenty of opportunity, and I'm sure Coach O'Neill's letting him know that.
Meanwhile, Gonzaga winning another face-off, another possession here for the Eagles. So everything right now going the way of Gonzaga, and as you said, Cab, it really has been Nick Ramsey that's keeping DeMatha in this contest right now. Great move by number 20, trying to beat his man. That's Jimmy Kuzma.
You're not going to score on those angles on Nick Ramsey. He held his pipe. He's a very strong goalie. He's got excellent technique.
Now Garrett Haskin working downfield. Since 1997, Madlax is lacrosse for DC, Maryland, and Virginia families. Check out madlax.com to learn about tryouts for the DC area's most competitive Summer All-Stars program and summer camps for boys and girls ages 7 through 18. Visit one of 3 area retail stores and mention Metro Lax Series to receive a 15% discount. Visit madlax.com, and as always, play with passion.
That shot was outside the goal. The crowd for DeMatha here down in front of us thought it was a goal, but the reason why you're seeing these long passes, there's only 3 seconds to go in the quarter.
And that will end
And there's
the
Borda
first
taking
quarter.
there's Borda taking his patented long distance shot right there.
And speaking of Matt Borda, let's take another look. Or actually, we'll talk a little bit more about that. That 80-yard shot by Matt Borda last year was a huge highlight of the WCAC tournament. Right now, Gonzaga up by 2, courtesy of Alex Corboy and Max Planning. As we talked about, a bit of a low-scoring affair so far, but Gonzaga can certainly break free and put together a lot of goals back-to-back. Meanwhile, DeMatha has to be happy that they've held them to 2, courtesy of Nick Ramsey. Let's head down and check in with Leah Reich once again from the sidelines.
In a big game like this, it's really important to focus on the details. The head coach for Gonzaga, Casey O'Neill, was telling his players down on the sideline they really need to relax, focus on their technique, and try to finish their shots. If they continue to do that, it kind of seems like they had some nerves to work out there in the first few minutes, but now they're back on track, and this is the Gonzaga team that we expected to see today.
Thanks, Leah. And with this break, let's take a quick moment to have a word from our sponsor.
Sport Honda is just a very excellent dealership.
The selection is really great. The prices are good.
They treat you like family.
I'm Sheba. I'm from Baltimore, and I am a sport fan.
Sport Honda. Be a sport fan, too.
And Leah, echoing a little bit about what you were suggesting that Coach O'Neill was probably saying to Connor Reed, telling his team they need to just settle down, not get too stressed out right now about what's going on down on the field, not play so tight, because obviously a player like Connor Reed's going to get his opportunities, as are a lot of these Gonzaga players.
As a young athlete, it's hard to understand that, though. Being told to let the game come to you and to relax and things like that, it's hard to make sense of that when you're 17 or 18. I frankly didn't understand that until I was probably a junior or senior in college. So letting the game come to you and dealing with shutoffs is part of the game for someone as great as Connor Reed. And he's a smart young man. He'll figure it out and get his plays in tonight.
Baumgartner winning the face-off for Gonzaga, so another possession here for the Eagles.
Gonzaga's won all 5 face-offs and has 5-0 on the face-offs. Nick Ramsey, the goalie, has 6 saves. Farrell has 0. He only has 1 shot on cage against him. So it could be a lot worse than it is if it wasn't for the play of Nick Ramsey in the cage.
Absolutely. 6 saves in 1 quarter is huge. But, of course, Gonzaga has been peppering the goal. Ramsey coming up with a huge first quarter to keep his team in this contest. But it's going to be Gonzaga possession once again.
That didn't look good. 22 and 19 collided. I hope 19's okay, but that wasn't pretty. That was because it was a little slick on this turf. It's a great field. It's Bermuda grass. It's cut really low for soccer, and it's extremely quick.
And, of course, number 19 is Steve Partlow for DeMatha now getting to his feet, hopping around. Looks like his left knee might have been a bit injured. He already has a brace on that knee, but regardless, able to make it off the field on his own power.
Good, hopefully he's okay.
That collision, as you said, was with Brian Murray.
Brian Murray's a big boy. He's over 200 pounds. Here's Connor Reed. So this is getting his opportunity here against a short stick.
So going against Davis Hay, looking to hand off, deflected.
Yeah, that was looking inside to Murray, actually. Or maybe it was to Bowen, but it was deflected right to Nick Ramsey. That was a set play that just didn't handle the pass.
But again, of course, Connor Reed certainly going to get his moments in tonight's contest. This one far from over. 10 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Gonzaga up 2-0. Meanwhile, DeMatha really looking for their first good offensive opportunity of the day. As you said, they have one shot on goal against Timmy Farrell, but Farrell so far not heavily tested.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You're exactly right. They have not had a good quality long possession, and right now they're trying to go against the long sticks. They're not going to do anything against these long sticks for Gonzaga, as you can see why right there. I mean, they need to attack the midfielders for Gonzaga if they're going to have success.
And our live coverage here today brought to you by Sport Automotive, Chevrolet, and Honda. Be a Sport fan too. Visit sportautomotive.com. That was a huge defensive play by Jack Slater. We've talked about him quite a bit, but again, one of the standouts here for Gonzaga is the Eagles once again on offense. They have owned time of possession in this contest. They have peppered Nick Ramsey. And that time Joe Fitzpatrick looking for his shot. Battle for the loose ball. And it will be DeMatha ball.
I'm watching the referees up close. They're letting number 25 for DeMatha, Garrett Haskin, push Connor Reed on the shutoff around, which is interesting. Usually you have to let the player move and walk, but they're letting him push Connor around. I can see why Connor's getting a little upset. Coach O'Neill might try to bring him out of the substitution box to get him so they can't match up and take that shutoff out of play.
Meanwhile, DeMatha working downfield, trying to set something up here and to get a good look at the cage and to test Timmy Farrell.
Yeah, that was Patrick Hine who cleared the ball as a senior, headed to VMI to play. Honorable mention, all WCAC. They need to keep the ball up top by the restraining line here. Do not go after people like Slater, and that's why, again, I mean, I'm not sure exactly why they're attacking these four long poles for Gonzaga. It's just not going to work. I mean, unless he knows something I don't know, or weakness I don't know about. We've watched these guys play a lot, Monica. Their defense is incredible.
And perhaps that's what Scott Morrison wants to talk to his team about right now, because they have been taking it right at Jack Slater in particular. And Jack Slater has had their number every single time. He's forced a couple of turnovers in this defense. They are too good, as you said. They've done a great job of protecting Timmy Farrell so far in this contest.
I was talking to Scott Morrison and asked him what he attributed to the great turnaround. He literally, I believe they were 0-4, 1-5, very slow start to the season. And he was talking about a trip to San Diego to the Coronado Navy base, and mentioned they're training with the Navy SEALs out there. And I'll get into the story more after we touch base with Leah here.
Hey guys, we saw number 19, Stephen Partlow of DeMatha, take a nasty fall there. He actually already had a knee brace on his left knee, and it looked like that was what was hurting him. He's icing it right now, but he's already up and ready to go. So we'll see if he's going to be back in the game. I have no word on that, but hopefully he'll be fine to play the rest of the game for this DeMatha team. Back up to you.
We certainly hope that Stephen Partlow will be able to resume playing in this contest. But Cav, you were talking about the turnaround for this DeMatha team. That's pretty exciting get to have that experience.
Yeah, they went to San Diego and the Coronado Navy base there, and there's actually 5. There were 6, but now there's 5 DeMatha alums or Navy SEALs. Brendan Looney, who passed away in service, was the 6th. So the Navy SEALs took the DeMatha lacrosse team, took them down the beach, and did a 4 or 5 hour training regimen. It was a little microcosm of how hard it is to be a Navy SEAL, and absolutely broke down the DeMatha players. Coach Morrison said that kids were breaking down, teammates were picking them up, and It was incredible character building and team building event that taught them about life lessons and friendship and more about life than lacrosse. And he said they came back a completely different team and better outlook on the season, and the play improved because of that trip.
Well, and really one of the greatest things about these two programs and a lot of the programs in this area is the strong alumni community, that you have those resources and can provide experiences like that for your team, because certainly, no doubt, made a huge impression on these young DeMatha players that they're going to carry with them for a long time. But meanwhile, Gonzaga back on offense as DeMatha is still struggling against the brick wall that is the Gonzaga Eagles defense. Corboy.
There's Sean Wickham's back in the game, number 6 for Gonzaga, out with concussion for 2 or 3 weeks. I'm sure Gonzaga's happy to have him back on the attack.
DeMatha with possession. Patrick Hine working downfield. He'll hand off. Quick shot by number 25, Garrett Haskin. Goes long.
Yeah, they have some great alumni here in DeMatha who either tuned in listening to us right now or here. The Looney family, the Gallaghers, Paul Rabel, who's arguably the best lacrosse player right now in the game. He's a 2004 or 2005 DeMatha alum, and a lot of tradition. I mentioned they have 18 lacrosse WCAC or WALL championships. They'd love to get the 19th after a little 2-year blip on their history radar, so to speak.
A big defensive play by DeMatha's Johnny Surdick gives possession back to the Stags. Still looking to test Timmy Farrell.
You can see how far out the Gonzaga defense is just pressed all the way out. They're not going to let these attackmen for DeMatha get away with anything.
And right now the DeMatha offense has to be really frustrated because offensively they have not had good opportunities. The ball has been checked loose, it seems, almost every time, or they've forced an ill-advised shot. Meanwhile, Max Planning working the ball down the field for Gonzaga. 6 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in this first half. Gonzaga up by 2.
And even though they're controlling the game, they're still only up 2 goals.
So certainly DeMatha certainly in striking distance at this point, but on the other hand, they haven't had a lot of good offensive looks. Joe Fitzpatrick again firing. We've seen a couple of shots from Fitzpatrick today, and another timeout. DeMatha going to talk things over once again.
Probably want to get the right defensive personnel in the field, maybe mix up the defense here. You can see they've gone with some shutoffs, some man. I haven't seen a zone yet, so we'll see what DeMatha comes out with the break here.
And
they're not as deep, so they need to use timeouts almost to rest.
With this break, let's get another message from our sponsor.
If you need a new car, you absolutely have to come to Sport.
They made me feel like I was part of their Sport family.
They have the biggest selection, great prices, and everybody's nice.
I'm Annalisa from Hyattsville, and I'm a Sport fan.
Sport Chevrolet, be a Sport fan too.
Well, and Cab, the depth, that was something that you talked about in the early goings, is certainly an issue for DeMatha. Gonzaga, an extremely deep team. You've talked about them switching up the midfield. They have so many personnel that they can bring into this contest, and so that is going to be a struggle for the Stags all night long, not to mention the fact that they do rely so heavily on those younger players, as you mentioned, the sophomore class that has really had to step up this year and play beyond their years.
Yeah, Grayson Terrain, who was the second team, number 6, second team all WCAC. Number 1, Brady Thompson, he's a sophomore. Those guys are sophomores. The goalie, Nick Ramsey, we told you he was a sophomore. It's a great class that Scott Morrison has in there, the 2014 graduation class.
So the future very bright for this DeMatha team right now, finding themselves down by 2.
Yeah, DeMatha's come out in zone here. So they've used 3 different types of defenses. Let's see how this one works.
Just as we expected, mixing up the defensive looks against this Gonzaga high-octane offense. Just held to 2 goals today, courtesy largely of Nick Ramsey back in goal, who had those 6 big saves in the first quarter.
Gonzaga's content to pass it around here before they run a set play. Usually against zones, you want to get some rhythm before you run a play. And it looks like they're setting up right now.
Kuzma will hand off. Gonzaga continuing to work the ball around, getting everyone involved, looking inside to Corboy. Second goal of the day for Alex Corboy.
That was an incredible pass by Patrick Myers, actually. And that's part of their look. They were carrying the ball up and throwing back and carrying the ball up and throwing back. And that pass down was exceptional by Patrick Myers. Excellent assist and finish.
It was a great pass by Myers, a great catch and finish by Corboy. And with 5 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in this first half, now Gonzaga up 3-0 against DeMatha. And once again, Eric Baumgartner getting it done in the face-off circle for Gonzaga. They have owned the face-off circle here tonight.
They won every one. Haven't lost yet.
And now Alex Corboy and company once again an opportunity to try to stretch out this lead. Again, Connor Reed up top looking to beat his man. Reed with the shot saved by Ramsey.
Another high shot, high save. Ramsey's really good high, because that shot was going low 90s.
And again, if you would like to purchase a copy of this broadcast or any of the broadcasts in the Metro LAC series, go to www.synthesismp.com. We have had a lot of great lacrosse so far in the Metro LAC series, including, as you mentioned, we've had Gonzaga already this year facing off against Bullis early in the season. We've had a lot of the IAC featuring Landon, Georgetown Prep. We've had St. Albans.
Yeah, and Gonzaga's beaten most of them, if not all of them. They've beaten all of them, actually.
They are 4-0 against IAC competition this year. No one in the IAC that they played able to defeat these Gonzaga Eagles, who have really just established themselves as the powerhouse team this year in the DC metro area.
Number 11, Austin Petty, has a short stick. I'd like to see him get after a short stick rather than them try to figure out how to beat these 4 long poles.
Steve Partlow back out on the field after that injury and had the shot right there, so very good to see Steve Partlow back out for DeMatha.
I think that was an inbounds play that didn't really develop properly. A lot of teams like to run inbounds plays before they get it back into their offense.
And now Bigelow will hand off. 3 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in this first half. DeMatha still looking for their first goal of the day, and they're going to throw it. Actually, it will be saved. Great hustle by Grayson Torian, one of the standout sophomores that we've talked so much about.
That was a heck of a play out by him on the sideline there. Very athletic.
James Rogers looked like he thought about it, then thought better of it, and is going to reset this offense, backing up top.
Yeah, James Rogers was second team all WCAC, and he's headed to play Division I lacrosse at Manhattan. He needs to be an impact player here. He's open on the backside right now. There he is.
And that shot, as you said, by Rogers. It was a nice pass.
Good pass by Petty. Great look on the backside. Just a little late. He was open for a while. Still probably should have scored it, but that's one of their best opportunities of the entire game.
And Gonzaga going to talk things over, and we talked about it. They have established themselves as one of the best teams in the area. And Cab, let's talk a little bit about your top 10 list, because Gonzaga has been perched at the top of that list for quite some time.
Since almost the beginning, the very beginning. Gonzaga is 19-1. They beat Landon, who won the IAC. They beat everybody in their league, and if they win today, they'll stay number 1 and maybe be a top 5 team in the country, which would be great for the DC area. Representing DC area as the top ranked team in the nation. Landon is number 2. They won the IC last week, avenging a loss previously to Bullis. They beat Georgetown Prep twice this year, which is hard to do, and they had not done in many, many years. Bullis is 3rd, Georgetown Prep 4. Calverton had a great year, 17-2. Beat Landon, Episcopal, beat everybody, won their conference, the MILL, and finished 17-2. Episcopal beat St. Stephen's and finished the season extremely strong. Went to the semifinals of the IAC. St. Stephen's 7th, DeMatha here 8th. Win could bring them right up to the top 5 here tonight. Chantilly's really picked it up in Northern Virginia, and St. Mary's Reich, and the disappointing loss to DeMatha, the team we're watching here in the semis. rounds out the top 10.
And of course, you can go to allmetsports.com to check out the Washington Post top 10 and see how they match up with Cavs, where there are differences. And you can also vote for who you think should be the top teams in the area.
I see they're bringing number 6, Grayson Terrain, out of the box up the midfield, and it's a good idea. He has a short stick.
And that shot by number 11, Petty, easily saved by Timmy Farrell. And now 1 minute 38 seconds remaining in this first half. It has been all Gonzaga. As we said, Gonzaga has owned the face-off X. They've owned time of possession. They have peppered Nick Ramsey. And now Gonzaga going to burn another timeout to talk things over and make sure offensively they do what they need to do in this last.
Yeah, they want to go in at halftime 3-0 or 4-0. Put in a little play here. Expect DeMatha to come out in zone. It didn't work last time. I know Gonzaga expected zone the entire game. They've probably seen more man-to-man than they expected, so they were prepared for a zone. Coach O'Neal, WCAC Coach of the Year, has got these guys ready.
91 seconds remaining in this first half. DeMatha still trying to figure out this Gonzaga defense. Really, it's been a huge story in tonight's contest, just not able.
Yeah, I think Coach Morrison's finally said, okay, we have to come out of the midfield. You just saw him bring number 6, Grayson Terrain, out of the box early, got a short stick on him, and it dodged with him rather than going from the attack, which is what they have to do. They have to do that.
And again, since 1997, Madlax is lacrosse for DC, Maryland, and Virginia families. Check out madlax.com to learn about tryouts for the DC area's most competitive Summer All-Stars program and summer camps for boys and girls ages 7 through 18. Visit one of 3 area retail stores and mention Metro Lax Series to receive a 15% discount. Visit madlax.com, and as always, play with passion. So the team's back out on the field for these last few seconds here, as you predicted. A zone defensive look by the Stags, who have tried to mix things up here today against Gonzaga. Meanwhile, Gonzaga working the ball around, trying to set up one more play that will give them another goal. This is Reed up top. DeMatha has been focusing on him in tonight's contest, deservedly so.
So now they're back into the formation. They're going to run their play starting right here. Here they go. They start carrying up. Connor used his left there. He might have gotten a shot. He was wide open. He didn't realize how open he was.
Perhaps because he hasn't been open much today.
Yeah.
A little surprised by it, as Ramsey comes out of the goal to try to break things up. And Gonzaga will have another crack at the goal before this first half ends. They look inside to Corboy. And Corboy with the shot. Wow! Alex Corboy, the hat trick in the first half, 3 goals. And that one, a long-range beauty by Alex Corboy.
It went low. It's the only place you can score on Nick Ramsey, apparently. Really far out shot. Nick probably wants that one back, but he's banging himself in the head right now. He wants that one back. But it was low, which is the only way you can get it past him.
22.7 seconds remaining in this first half. And Casey O'Neal and his team's plan works to perfection, able to score another goal before halftime, now up 4-0 over DeMatha and continuing to own the faceoff circle, but Baumgartner loses possession.
That's DeMatha's first faceoff win of the night.
Dangerous pass through defenders, but Ramsey,
There's only 5 seconds here. They catch it and shoot it.
able to hang on. And there will not be an opportunity for DeMatha to end the half. So at the end of our first half, Gonzaga 4, DeMatha 0. It has been all Eagles all day long. I think Casey O'Neal has to be happy that his team has gotten some good offensive looks, and he has to be extremely happy with his defense.
Yeah, the defense is completely dominating. Those 4 guys are going to play the next level for a reason, and they're just completely terrorizing the DeMatha attack. I think DeMatha did make a good switch. They're going to have to start going from the midfield and dodging from the midfield if they want to score.
So Scott Morrison already making some adjustments in the first half. No doubt will be looking to change a couple more things up. He's been mixing up his defenses, trying to throw off this Gonzaga offense. But Alex Corboy has 3 goals in this contest, and that last one he would not be denied.
Yeah, Hobart boy, he got banged inside, carried it out with one hand, and took about a 16, 17-yarder. Coach Johnson, the head coach at Hobart, is going to be excited to have him in a couple of years. He's only a junior, so he's really improved, as I alluded to. His dodging, he has great shooting. He's always been a great shooter, but now he's gotten a lot stronger. And as he gets stronger and develops his speed more, he's going to be, he surely will be one of the best players in the area next year.
Meanwhile, Connor Reed has been absolutely harassed by the DeMatha defense. Really hasn't seen a lot of open daylight, but all the other players stepping up, and you have to imagine Connor Reed's going to continue to look to break free. They're going to try to run some set plays for him, try to get him a good look at the goal.
Yeah, Connor Reed's a WCAC Player of the Year, first teamer again for the second year in a row. He's actually initiating a lot of the offense for Gonzaga, even though he may not be getting on the scoreboard himself. He's drawing attention and moving the ball, whether it's against the zone or man-to-man, or even as he gets shut off. And he seems like he's calmed down a lot. He was a little angry in the beginning, but now he's calmed down. He's playing great.
And speaking of Connor Reed, we have a package on the standout who's heading to play his college lacrosse at Johns Hopkins.
I like dodging from up top, just going as hard as I can, and then trying to look to create for the other players.
Connor, he's just a real athletic midi, loves to create for everybody else. He's really fun to work off the ball with because he always finds you. He's really good at looking. He's got incredible vision.
Athleticism. He gets up and down the field as fast as anyone I've coached in 12 years here at the school. He's just shifty, quick, tough to stay with, and can get open whenever he wants. I think the best part about his playing style is he sort of makes everybody better.
Connor's probably the most athletic kid I've seen take the cross field. He really unselfish player, doesn't care about anyone but the team, and he just goes out there and gives it 100% every game.
It was pretty cool. I played under the Washington DC team 2 years ago, and it was nice to play with a lot of older kids and the best competition around, and just to get better, play with some good players. Everything, the location, coaching staff is great, the history behind it, and it's just a great team and a great program, and I look forward to playing next year. When we went into the locker room, just seeing all the greats that played there before, and to think maybe I could play there one day, that really influenced my decision.
I think it's a great fit. When you got an athlete like that, what program and what school would not want a player like him? I think he could go to pretty much any place and play, and hopefully start to play sooner than later because of that athleticism. And what makes him such a good player is that he's smart. The kid has over a 4.0 GPA here at school, so we always teach our kids to play with energy, to play with fire, but to play smart. And Connor's doing that at all times.
When I took the visit, the players, it was a whole family, just like here at Gonzaga, and they welcomed me in as soon as I came, and I had a really good time. So.
That he leads by example. He won't get in the face, yell at anyone, but he'll give positive encouragement to whoever, and just lead by example by going 100% at anything he does.
He made the team as a freshman, which is hard to do here, and we got him on the field right away. He kind of used his athleticism earlier on, and now he's kind of changed his game where not only is he shooting more, which was something we've begged him to do for years, but he is continuing to make people better, and he's improved on his defensive end. He's not a liability. He's not a midi that can that you throw on the other end and you're worried about playing defense. His game is complete. He picks up ground balls, he shoots, he passes, and he plays good defense. And between the lines, if you need a clear, give him the ball, and there he goes.
Team goals, we made a list of about 10, I think, and win the championship, sweep ISC, sweep MIAA. We can't go undefeated anymore, but I think we can beat Prep and Landon, so look forward to that.
Humble, quiet, very approachable, just honest. The type of kid you want to have on your team, and the type of Gonzaga man that after 4 years, you look at a kid like this and that's how you want. I would want my son to be like him, and the way he acts and the way he handles himself.
And of course, Cab, we've already talked a little bit about your top 10, but went through it a little hurriedly. Gonzaga at the top, Landon, the top team in the IAC, number 2. A lot of the IAC teams on your list this year. Was a strong conference.
Yeah, they're very deep. The IAC is top to bottom, is extremely strong, can match with any league really in the country. It's only 6 teams, so Landon won it this year. Bullis ran the league and beat everyone during the regular season, but Landon won the tournament, which meant everything this year. It was the first time in the IAC that the playoffs meant everything in the regular season. It was just for seeding, much like the WCAC does now and has done for a long time. I think it's better. It's what they do in college as well, and emphasizes that teams are peaking at the end of the season, which is what they really should be, rather than in March when it's freezing out or 20 degrees out. You never know how a game can go. But Gonzaga is no question the number 1 team right now. Everyone's got a number 1. Landon is 2. Bullis has had an amazing season, arguably the best season ever. And their heart was broken when they lost in the championship. Georgetown Prep lost to number 4, lost to Landon twice, and Bullis this year. Calverton finished up at 5. Episcopal, number 6, who had a great win over St. Stephen's to get to the Final Four. St. Stephen's, who's number 7, is actually still going in the Virginia Division I private state tournament. They're in the Final Four now with the win over Paul VI. They used to be a top 10 team for us. And it's in the WCAC. We have 8 DeMatha, 9 Chantilly, and wraps it up with number 10 WCAC St. Mary's Riken.
And let's head back down to the sidelines to check in with Leah Reich.
Gonzaga seemingly doing everything right there in the first half. I talked to head coach Casey O'Neill at halftime, and he told me he's telling his guys they need to take care of the little things. He told his guys DeMatha is not going to give up. They're coming back in the second half ready to play, so they need to be ready for them if they want to get this done here in the second half.
Well, smart words from Casey O'Neill, because there is such an intense rivalry between these two teams that you have to imagine DeMatha finding themselves down 4-0. There's no quit in this team, particularly when it's Gonzaga on the other end of the field.
No, DeMatha, and there's no love lost between these schools in any sport for that matter. Football, basketball, some of the best football programs and basketball programs in the country now, some of the best lacrosse programs in the country, and they seem like they're extremely excited coming out of their halftime huddles here. The crowd is still behind them and has a lot of energy, so we'll see if they can start scoring. They need to start scoring, and probably need to get it done from the midfield. But it's been physical, it's been fun. When these guys get after each other, athletes up and down.
And let's talk a little bit about our first half statistics, because Cab, the one that's staggering, which is no surprise to us, is the shots on goal. 19 by Gonzaga compared to 9 by DeMatha, and those 9 by DeMatha were rather late for a while. There weren't a lot at all.
Yeah, 19 shots, 9 saves by Nick Ramsey. So you can see they're peppering him, and he's gonna have to hang on to keep DeMatha in this game. 15
of those recorded in the first quarter. And looking at some of the other statistics, of course, the saves.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You can see the game must have slowed down in the second quarter. 15 shots in the first quarter by Gonzaga, only 4 in the second. So the game has gone in DeMatha's favor in the second.
9 saves by Nick Ramsey in the first half, only 2 by Timmy Farrell. But again, Timmy Farrell not very tested in the first period. The faceoffs dominated, 5-1 by Gonzaga. The Eagles doing a great job at the X. Not a lot of penalties in this contest, so not a lot of extra man opportunities so far. That is one thing about this contest. We have not had a lot of penalties called.
Yeah. Facing off here with Knowles on the wing. Knowles is WCAC honorable mention number 12 for he's on the wing. Or actually, sorry, I correct that. He's second team WCAC. Dennis Knowles on the wing here, getting the ground ball right there. And Eric Baumgartner wins another face-off, absolutely dominating.
Gonzaga picking up right where they left off in the first half, but they are going to throw the ball away. Bowman was looking for number 8, Patrick Myers. An errant pass will give possession back to DeMatha, so a lucky break for the Stags, who desperately need any possession they can get since Gonzaga has been so dominating at the face-off X today.
See if they can clear the ball clear, and it's a little bit of an issue.
And they switch sides of the field. Now they go back to the right side, getting the long sticks involved.
A lot different formation. That's a better clear for DeMatha right there, a lot smoother.
And so now this second half fully underway. These two teams, as we said, have such a huge rivalry. It's not just that they're battling for the WCAC title, but there's a lot of pride on the line. And for these fans, this game means so much. Great takeaway by Gonzaga.
Showing some speed too. I know he's the strongest kid in the weight room. Also fast. Good football player going to Denison University. He could contribute right away.
And now Bowman up top for Gonzaga. Had a couple of shots.
And here's Connor coming up with a short stick on him again. He's smart, just get right after the goal.
Reed.
Before they start shutting him off. And here they go, now they're shutting him off. One pass and he's shut.
DeMatha continuing to focus on Connor Reed, but the problem for the Stags has been Alex Corboy, who already has 3 goals.
Yeah, you're right. They might change their game plan.
That shot by Bowman goes long, backed up by the Eagles.
And here's Corboy coming off the inbounds here. Now DeMatha's in a situation now where they can't go zone. They're down 4-zip. If you go zone, Gonzaga will just pass the ball around. And the problem is, I'm not sure that man-to-man is going to work for their defense the whole time, unless they force errors like that. So that's an unforced error that's not common. You don't see that very often with Gonzaga.
Very uncharacteristic. Again, our live coverage today brought to you by Sport Automotive, Chevrolet, and Honda. Be a sport fan too. Visit sportautomotive.com.
Now Gonzaga gets their defensive short sticks on the field. Number 3, Eric Baumgartner. Number 19, Cayman Tude. They've been their top 2 guys all spring. Done a great job defensively with Dennis Knowles at the midfield.
And really the way that DeMatha has been able to get possessions is either on turnovers or saves that were made by Nick Ramsey. So really every possession in this contest at this point needs to be valued by DeMatha. They were looking inside for Matthew Justice. Once again, nicely defended by Gonzaga. And right now, Gonzaga's defense has a shutout so far. They have been so impressive. Long clearing pass by the Eagles.
Slater and Borda and Miller are so good in transition with the long poles. It's almost like they're midfielders out there. They can create and push. It makes it so hard to stop them on the clear.
And it's really one of the reasons why Gonzaga has been so dominating, 19-1. Their defense is just giving up 4.2 goals per game. That is how outstanding this defensive unit is for Gonzaga. Trying to get a little fancy as number 7, Daniel O'Barry, had a tough angle.
He's just in the game. He wanted some action.
And it will be Gonzaga ball. Alex Corboy with possession for Gonzaga. Number 18 has had the hot hand all day long.
Now DeMatha's putting in their best defensive players, which is the strength of their team. One of the keys to victory. 23, Michael Parker, and headed to Navy. Michael Parker is headed to Navy actually to play soccer. He's a first-team WCAC soccer player and part of that outstanding DeMatha soccer team. And there's Corboy sneaking one in. No one even knew it was a goal.
Well, it looked to me like it might have hit the side of the net, but actually somehow that did go in the net. So Alex Corboy has his 4th of the day. And again, as you said, DeMatha might need to change their strategy because so far it has been Alex Corboy that has had the number of Nick Ramsey, really one of the only people that's found a way to score against Nick Ramsey. He was shooting low in the first half, and that time, not sure how he got the angle to get that shot off, but another big-time play by Alex Corboy.
Another face-off win for Gonzaga. I think DeMatha might want to try Michael Parker. I was talking about him, the young man headed to Naval Academy to play soccer who's been shutting off Connor Reed. They might want to put him on and shut off Alex Corboy.
And this
is letting Alex play. They're sitting out there and letting him go.
Whitcomb again in the game for Gonzaga, who had been out but is playing here tonight, cleared to play after that concussion. Kuzma looking to make something happen. Now Whitcomb again from behind the goal. Whitcomb looking for Corboy, broken up by the DeMatha defense. Nice play by number 32, Jamie Cologne. But somehow
Max Planning just picked up a ground ball there and finished it. The Denver recruit, honorable mention WCAC player, in the right place at the right time.
Second goal of the day for Planning. It's 2 for Planning, 4 for Corboy. And now Gonzaga has stretched this lead out slowly but surely, 6-0. 7 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in this WCAC tournament final. And it has been Gonzaga all day long. And at the face-off circle, Baumgartner continuing to dominate. Quick shot, easily saved. Again, a high shot. Nick Ramsey saw it all the way.
Eric wanted in on it. Number 17 just got Thomas Sikowski, got a hold call, flags down. They got to keep it in the box. DeMatha has to keep it in the box before they blow the whistle.
Piccolo hands off to James Rogers. Rogers has had a couple of shots on the day. Good offensive option for this DeMatha team. Still looking to find a way to break through this defense. Nice defensive pressure by Baumgartner and Slater. And you see the swarming Gonzaga defense. They are so dominating.
Just going to get that ball out of the box. There you go. You knock it out of the box, the whistle blows.
And you just
but
see
you're exactly right. They're swarming the ball. They're aggressive. Gonzaga's all over it.
They are so intense, and certainly even though they're up 6-0, they're not letting up. They certainly heeded the words of Casey O'Neill that Leah was talking about at halftime. They have not let up. They realize this is a good DeMatha team, and despite being up 6-0, there's still plenty of time remaining in this contest. DeMatha with possession.
And again, putting pressure on man down. You don't usually see that, but they're pressing out. Look at this. They're going and playing the ball hard. This is going to give DeMatha fits. Might get a foul here again, yeah. That was a foul. Got him in the throat. Don't argue, Jack. That was a foul. Jack's been playing an amazing game today. Incredible game. He was just a little high on that. Even if it was for a split second in the throat area, they usually call that.
Second penalty of the day as Jack Slater will head to the box.
He's a great athlete, Jack. He plays hockey as well for Gonzaga, I believe. And you can see his aggressiveness.
Opportunity, perhaps, that DeMatha has had here.
Looking
to try to create and get through this Gonzaga defense. But you see, DeMatha is still struggling because the defense still swarming. Nice play by Dennis Knowles, who you've talked a lot about. Ill-advised shot, I think, right there by Bobby Bigelow, easily saved by Farrell, so perhaps a squandered opportunity.
This turf's a little slick. It's actually getting later, so maybe it's getting a little wet with the dew, but kids are starting to slip. Luke just fell down there.
And again, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Every school, every sport, all the time. And DeMatha with possession, but the penalty over. So despite being up 2 men, DeMatha not able to work through Dennis Knowles and company. That shot by Petty, saved by Farrell, but Farrell not able to hang on to it. Finally gets the ball in his cross, knocked down. Nice heads-up play there by Matt Borda when the goalkeeper, Timmy Farrell, slipped.
was a huge opportunity for DeMatha wasted. 2 men up, and now Gonzaga's back to all even. They can't get anything going offensively. You can see, we were talking about how much DeMatha had improved before the game, and we didn't really talk about how much Gonzaga's improved as well since the last contest, which was 10-4. We just assumed that everyone knows that, but they've gotten so much better, and they're peaking. They beat Landon last week, and have just run through the WCAC. Of course, they've gotten just as improved as DeMatha has, as you can see in this game today.
Well, and again, we saw Gonzaga early in the season when they played Bullis, and we were surprised that they were as dominating in that game against Bullis as they were that early in the season. They looked great, and they have only gotten better.
Yeah, Coach O'Neill just says that this group has worked so hard. It's a special group, an amazing bunch of seniors. And they do have a lot of juniors. We talked about the juniors committed. They have a lot coming back, and the program is deep at Gonzaga. Their JV program is strong. Their freshman program is strong. I believe the JVs went undefeated. I think the freshmen only lost 1 goal. So it's a pipeline. They have 150 boys come out for the lacrosse team every spring. It's going to be a powerhouse for many, many years now.
Meanwhile, DeMatha with possession still looking for their first goal of the day. 3 minutes, 52 seconds remaining, and they find it courtesy of Matthew Justice right on the doorstep. A huge momentum lift for DeMatha.
Actually, a really nice feed by Grayson Terrain. Nice look inside, put it right in his stick.
So sophomore to senior, DeMatha finally getting on the scoreboard. 3 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in the third quarter. But now back at the face-off circle where they have struggled all day long against Eric Baumgartner and company.
This is the longest a face-off has ever gone.
And DeMatha winning the face-off after the goal by Justice. So a huge momentum swing here.
It's only their second face-off win.
So DeMatha starting to feel it a little bit, hoping to launch a comeback after being shut out for quite some time in this contest. Really about 32 minutes it took them to score in this game. Low shot by Rogers, deflected by Farrell. And it's going to be DeMatha possession. The Stags, some renewed life here.
Starting to wake up a little bit. They really could use a goal here. They need to get after those short six and maybe invert them.
Grayson Terrain looking for Partlow. Broken up by the defense once again. Another big play in an unsettled situation here. Nice recovery on defense by DeMatha.
That was a fast break that was squandered.
And now Gonzaga with possession. This is Whitcomb.
Fitzpatrick's had a great season. He probably wants some points here. Give it to Corboy.
That shot by Myers. And Corboy looking for his 5th of the day.
He's going hard to the goal. Gotta love how hard he's getting to the rack.
Corboy has been dominating, as we said, in tonight's contest, as has this young man planning. Number 33, 2 goals already, looking for another one.
Good defense by number 6 there. Right when he shot, he punched him. Grayson Terrain.
And we've mentioned Terrain's name a number of times. He really has been a big player tonight for DeMatha. He has a bright future ahead of him. Again, only a sophomore is Terrain.
Second team WCAC as a sophomore. It's hard to do.
Brady Thompson up top for DeMatha. Once again, you see the long sticks just making life so difficult. Farrell got a piece of it. Haskin with the shot.
Saves are starting to go up for Timmy Farrell. Means he's getting some action. I think he's up to 5 or 6 saves.
1 minute, 17 seconds remaining in this third quarter. DeMatha a bit sloppy with the ball, which you can't afford to do against this Gonzaga defense, but holding on to possession, looking to get a high percentage shot right there. They were looking for Bigelow, but it will be Gonzaga ball. Now under a minute remaining in this third period, where DeMatha has shown some renewed life, scoring their first goal of the day. Again, our live coverage brought to you by Sport Automotive Chevrolet and Honda. Be a sport fan too. Visit sportautomotive.com. And Connor Reed back in this contest, once again being hounded as far away from the goal as he was, drawing a lot of attention. Gonzaga squandering their possession. Nice defensive pressure. Interception by Fitzpatrick, and Myers with the shot goes over the top of the net.
Great play by Fitzpatrick there. Joe Fitzpatrick, great athlete, junior.
And Fitzpatrick has had a couple of nice plays tonight for Gonzaga, and again, only a junior. You talked about the fact that Gonzaga has so much talent returning next season. The WCAC once again is going to have to contend with a lot of these strong Gonzaga players. And meanwhile, Corboy showing that he is a good defender as well, pressuring the ball. DeMatha pushing forward now. 11 seconds remaining in this third quarter, so not a lot of time. DeMatha looking for one more good shot, and Slater, he has been everywhere on the field tonight on defense. Really a huge defensive showing for Jack Slater, easily saved by Ramsey to end this third period. And so at the end of the third quarter, Gonzaga 6, DeMatha 1. DeMatha did a couple of good things in that third period, of course, getting the goal by Justice, winning that faceoff back-to-back, got a little bit of a momentum swing, but still not able really to rattle this Gonzaga team. And let's head down to the sidelines to check in with Leah Reich.
Gonzaga certainly isn't lacking the offensive opportunities, but Coach O'Neill is still getting a little frustrated out there, telling his guys that they need to be more aggressive and go harder at the net. It seems that they are really trying as hard as they can, but even with this comfortable 5-point lead, it's not okay to just sit back, and Coach O'Neill is not going to let them let down at all here in the fourth quarter.
So Coach O'Neill continuing to try to motivate this team. Certainly has a lot to say, no doubt, at this break. And while we have a break, let's get another word from our sponsor.
Sport Honda is just a very excellent dealership.
The selection is really great. The prices are good.
They treat you like family.
I'm Sheba. I'm from Baltimore, and I am a sport fan.
Sport Honda. Be a sport fan too.
So this contest very different from the women's final. The women's final, a close game going into the fourth period, and here tonight Gonzaga has owned this contest, but as Leah said, Casey O'Neill not letting up, telling his players that they really need to make sure they keep their heads in this game for the fourth period. And now Leah Wright getting some of the fans involved, handing out some t-shirts.
Metro Lac Series t-shirts.
And of course, a huge
collector's
crowd
item
here tonight, Cab. We were debating about how many people are here. The stadium holds about 3,000, but it's standing room only.
Yeah.
A lot of people standing around the fence. Probably the hottest ticket in town tonight.
Probably 3,500.
And there you get to see the allmetsports.com t-shirts, which Leah was handing out. A couple of lucky members of the crowd that got to receive one. And DeMatha coming up with possession here. And again,
face off.
This rivalry is so strong. DeMatha, no matter what the score is, they're not going to let up. They showed some renewed life in the third quarter, and looking here once again to try to figure out this Gonzaga defense.
Yeah, 5 goals is not quite enough for you to start subbing this early. You expect Casey O'Neill to keep the horses out there.
And of course, some of his players like Connor Reed want to still be out there because they really haven't gotten the looks that they wanted. Absolutely.
Yeah, seniors, they don't want to come off the field. Some of these guys, you know, unlike Connor Reed, might not be going on to play at the next level. This could be their last official varsity game of their lives.
So DeMatha showing a little patience here, trying to get a good offensive look on this possession. This is Justice. He'll hand off the lone goal scorer on the day for DeMatha. Now Thompson working up top. Look at the defense by Miller.
It's actually a pretty nice move by Brady Thompson on Luke. Luke's the best defender headed to Hobart, the leader of this defense. He took it right to him. Tough footing out there. I can see Luke slipping.
We've talked a lot about that. Several of the players have been slipping. We saw Timmy Farrell slip a little earlier.
Seems like Luke's slipping the most, though. Maybe he needs to get bigger spikes.
And now Grayson.
You better get used to it. Up at Hobart, the grass is about 5 inches deep. You have to wear 3/4 inch spikes.
That shot by number 24, Bobby Bigelow, as DeMatha will hang on to possession. So a long possession here for DeMatha as they're looking for a good opportunity, trying to be patient. Justice looking for Thompson.
You got to move. Number 3's got to move when he catches the ball at X there. Instead of just throwing a 30-yard feed up off a screen, he's got to sprint and attack the backside if they want that play to develop a little better.
And now it's Terrain working behind the goal. Nice check by Borda.
Nice check.
Matt Borda and company continuing to be a brick wall for Gonzaga. We talked so much about Miller, Slater, and Borda, but they have been very impressive. Hard shot saved by Ramsey.
That was an exceptional save. That was down low where he's been giving up goals, and he picked that one up well.
And Baumgartner doing a great job on that play, looking for the interception. What an athletic and aggressive play. 9 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in this WCAC tournament final. It has been all Gonzaga, now up 6-1. And the man of the hour has been Alex Corboy, 4 goals on the day for the Gonzaga Eagles. Meanwhile, DeMatha continuing to be patient on offense. They've really been trying to make the most of their offensive opportunities in this fourth quarter.
They've been going with Grayson a lot here. You can see Grayson's got great speed, explosion there. He's just got to protect his stick better. He's showing his stick. Doesn't seem to have excellent hold in his pocket, which is a little technical, I know, but sometimes pockets the ball cannot come out if you string it properly. And it looks like his is coming out a little too easy because he's too good of a player to be losing the ball on soft checks like that.
Meanwhile, Dennis Knowles coming up with the defensive play for Gonzaga. Connor Reed now looking to make a move on his man. Reed, nice pass. Finish by Sean Whitcomb. So a great way. Reed getting involved on offense. The unselfish play to Sean Whitcomb.
It was a matter of time, and it's nice to see Whitcomb get back in the scoring column after a long hiatus with a concussion, but that was just an explosive dodge by Connor with his head up. And that's actually when he's best. He's really good at feeding the ball out of a dodge.
So Connor Reed creates, and the finish by Sean Whitcomb, the senior. 21st goal on the year for Whitcomb.
I wonder if Coach Petramala from Hopkins is here. I doubt it. He's getting ready for his playoff game on Saturday versus Maryland over at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. But he'll be smiling when he gets Connor Reed on campus next September.
Absolutely. They are going to be very happy to have Reed. And Whitcomb again. That one goes long, but backed up by O'Berry.
The last player of the year to come out of here that went to Johns Hopkins was Paul Rabel. So big shoes to fill for Connor Reed, but representing the DC area extremely well, both of them.
That shot by Planning. And Planning continuing to feel it. 2 goals on the day from Max Planning. Has been an impact player tonight for Gonzaga.
He and Corboy, both are juniors, and they're both having a great night here to finish off their junior season.
emphasizing the fact that the future is very bright for Casey O'Neill's club, despite the fact that they will lose players like Connor Reed. And of course, their goalkeeper, Timmy Farrell, only a junior as well.
Yeah. And here's Fitzpatrick. He's only a junior. He's going to score.
Fitzpatrick. And now Gonzaga starting to score at will. 2 quick goals by Whitcomb and Fitzpatrick, stretching this lead out 8-1. 7 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in this contest.
So now you see the depth starting to wear on DeMatha. You know, DeMatha's only been running one midfield group and one defensive midfield group. Gonzaga's running 8 middies at him, and it's finally gotten to him here in the fourth quarter.
You see the battle for the loose ball. Players diving. Baumgartner trying to win another one.
It was a nice idea to try to bat it to his attackman.
But it will be DeMatha ball. And again, despite being down by 7, you will see no quit in the DeMatha Stags. And now far out of the goal is Ramsey, a bit dangerous as he throws the ball right to Jamie Bash. He loses his footing momentarily, though. Again, the field a bit slick. And now Connor Reed once again looking to go to work. And Gonzaga right now running some time off the clock. 6 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in this final. Another shot by Gonzaga.
Great save by Ramsey. He's close to 10 saves.
Ramsey has certainly had a big game in tonight's contest, but another costly turnover.
What a catch by Corboy.
By DeMatha.
One-handed snag off a bounce. It's pretty good.
And again, since 1997, Madlax is lacrosse for DC, Maryland, and Virginia families. Check out madlax.com to learn about tryouts for the DC area's most competitive Summer All-Stars program and summer camps for boys and girls ages 7 through 18. Visit one of 3 area retail stores and mention Metro Lax Series to receive a 15% discount. Visit madlax.com, and as always, play with passion.
Grayson Terrain just made a really impressive one-handed wrap check to get the ball away from Corboy, and he is gassed. Grayson's on the sidelines holding the end of his shorts and bending over. But that was an impressive, very athletic play. That kid's going to be very, very good. Again, only a sophomore.
And meanwhile, it's number 23, Michael Parker, working through traffic. He will hand off to Bigelow. Bigelow trying to create from around the crease. Heavily defended as that defense for Gonzaga continuing to pressure Cayman Satuda, pressuring the ball.
I'm not sure why the refs blew the whistle, because they had a flag down on offsides, but they didn't step out of the box, so it should be a play-on situation.
And again, if you would like to purchase a copy of this broadcast or any of the broadcasts in the Metro Lax Series, go to www.synthesismp.com. You can also purchase a copy of the girls' game that was won by the Holy Cross Tartans a little earlier today, knocking off the 8-time defending champion Good Counsel Falcon squad that has been so impressive in the WCAC. Meanwhile, this one has been a little different. The favorite to win tonight was Gonzaga with their 19-1 record on the year, and Gonzaga has not disappointed in tonight's contest. That shot by number 7, James Rogers.
Gonzaga's ruthless here. They're man down, and yet they're putting pressure on all the way out.
And it does not matter the personnel that Gonzaga has on the field. They continue to pressure, leave everything out there, forcing another turnover.
Yeah, that's what happens against heavy pressure man-ups if you're not moving your feet. You try to skip past everything, and you can't do that. You should usually carry it.
And it's really easy to see right now why Gonzaga has been so dominating in the DC metro area, because there's no weakness, it seems like, on their team. They're strong at the face-off X. They're strong at the goalkeeper position. Their defensive unit is one of the best I've seen all year, if not the best. And then all the offensive firepower that they have, not to mention just the heart, the discipline, and the desire that these players exhibit. You talked about how Casey O'Neill says this is a special team, and if you've watched them play, you certainly understand that's not just coach speak, he really means it.
Yeah, they have really met expectations. In fact, they've actually exceeded expectations. No one really expected them to beat Boys Latin the way they did, and Boys Latin's the top 20 team in the country. And no one expected them to run the WCAC and the IAC, and they've done that. That's why it's a special year, and they deserve to be, in my opinion, a top 10 team in the country for sure. And depending on how things go, they could be a top 5.
Well, and certainly this has been a dominating performance so far in tonight's contest by Gonzaga, really showing why they do merit that type of national level recognition. And again, so many of these players going on to play at the next level. That shot hits the inside of the goal.
Good shot by Petty there. It's just outside.
And you talked about the fact so many of these players recognized on the All-WCAC team, well-deserved for what they've been able to achieve this year.
Yep, Alex Corboy, Gonzaga, Luke Miller, Connor Reed, Eric Baumgartner, all made first team for Gonzaga.
Hits the pipe.
Here's their first teamer right here. DeMatha, number 23, and 31, Scott Sindall, and 23, Michael Parker, both made first team as well. So a lot of first teamers on the field tonight.
And well-deserved. You can certainly see why so many of these players recognized for their efforts this year. It's been an amazing season to get to watch. Another save, though, by Ramsey, continuing to be strong back in the net. Whitcomb with the shot.
Here goes Grayson.
Nice look downfield by Terrain. The extra pass and the finish by Justice again. It is Matthew Justice. That is his second goal of the day. That was beautiful passing. They made the extra pass, 2 passes to Matthew Justice, and Justice with the finish. So what a bright spot Justice has been.
It's a nice play, nice finish. Who had the assist there? Was that number 19? I think it was number 19. Give him credit.
So
Steve Bartlow, the lefty attackman.
And DeMatha continuing to battle. Really a great job. Bartlow has been everywhere out on the field. You see him diving right there despite that earlier knee injury or whatever the injury was that Bartlow has had. He has really come in to this game only a sophomore and continued to battle it out for his team. And now 2 minutes, 41 seconds remaining in this WCAC final. There really hasn't.
Let's see if Gonzaga puts in some subs here. Looks like they're going back out.
And Connor Reed is once again looking.
Timeout Gonzaga, so he'll probably empty the bench here, which is the classy thing to do.
Well, absolutely, and certainly a lot of the players that don't get a lot of playing time for Gonzaga at a lot of other schools might get a lot more playing time. A lot of coaches in the area would be certainly happy to have them on their starting lineups. But this Gonzaga team, we've talked so much about their depth.
No question. I mean, they have, I mentioned, 150 kids come out every year, so you can imagine how many kids don't get to play varsity until junior year and then might not even get into the game until their senior year.
And meanwhile, for DeMatha, the depth has become an issue. You talked earlier about Grayson Terrain. I mean, he's been everywhere out on the field tonight. He has to be exhausted. Nick Ramsey's been peppered all night long. Really, the first half more than the second half, but certainly that defensive unit for DeMatha had to play a lot of tough minutes during the first half when there were 19 shots on goal by Gonzaga. And let's take a moment to have another word from our sponsor.
Sport Honda is just a very excellent dealership.
The selection is really great. The prices are good.
They treat you like family.
I'm Sheba. I'm from Baltimore, and I am a sport fan.
Sport Honda, be a sport fan too.
Thank you.
And so the final 2 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in this WCAC Tournament Championship. Gonzaga up 8-2 over DeMatha. Reed still in the game, looking for a goal, and he gets it. Finally, Connor Reed able to break through and get his goal on the day.
You can see he really wanted that goal by his reaction. Means a lot to him as a senior.
And of course, we saw that beautiful assist by Reed earlier to Whitcomb, and now Reed in his own right gets his own goal. So he will leave the field along with Matt Bowman, getting some congratulations, well deserved from his teammates. What a career Connor Reed has had for Gonzaga, and again heading off to play for Johns Hopkins. So lots more lacrosse in his future. Another face-off win by the Eagles, who have dominated the X all day long.
Now Gonzaga's got to keep it in the offensive box.
So under 2 minutes remaining now in the contest. That shot by Corboy.
Wow, what a save.
And Corboy continuing to try to add to his total tonight, which is already at an impressive 4. DeMatha with possession, so with 1 minute, 45 seconds remaining, DeMatha with an opportunity to get on the scoreboard once again. Matthew Justice has been the one with the hot hand. He has 21 goals on the year. Coming into this game, he's added 2 more here tonight. And timeout down on the field. DeMatha going to talk things over once again, and again, there is no quit in this DeMatha team.
I'm probably going to try to get a couple another quick ones here, but this looks like it's going to be Gonzaga's 3rd in a row.
So it
Impressive
will be
run for Coach O'Neill and his coaching staff. He has a great staff, and Jeff King, Andrew Battle, Thomas Alford, the former Maryland player, Connor McCarthy, the Lehigh standout, and also a graduate of Gonzaga, Shane Toomey, the goalie coach, Nick Heyman, Mr. Everything, and John Schlegel. Done a nice job with this team this year.
So it will likely be a 3rd straight WCAC championship. Gonzaga has not lost a WCAC game since May 8th of 2009 when they lost to DeMatha. So an impressive WCAC streak going on for the Eagles.
I think in thinking about next year a little bit early, I think Gonzaga is going to be the team to beat. I think DeMatha will be right up there. Same area as Riken is actually quite young. Has a lot of good players coming back. St. John's is very young. All the 6 graduates quite a bit. We'll see how they do. And Good Counsel graduates quite a bit as well. So this could be the finals again next year. Not if Riken or some others have some things to work on in the off season. WCAC has just gotten a lot stronger year after year, and deeper every year.
And interestingly, last time these two teams played, Alex Corboy was one of the big players on offense as well. He had 2 goals and an assist in that game, and has had the hot hand here tonight as DeMatha able to hang on to possession here. 1 minute, 6 seconds remaining in this contest. And that shot by Petty, who's had a couple of good looks tonight. He's been trying to get something going on offense, and now we are under 1 minute, so less than a minute away from their 3rd WCAC Tournament Championship. Corboy still in the game, now racing behind the goal empty, as DeMatha has the extra defender out on the field. Corboy working through lots of defenders. And it looks like
nice stick protection by Alex Corboy to get through 2 like that.
Gonzaga just going to let time run out here. It has been an impressive showing today, offensively and defensively, for Gonzaga as Bowman.
DeMatha's just absolutely gassed.
You see their players with their hands on their knees, down, trying to gasp for breath here. It has been a foot race from start to finish with this Gonzaga team, who has not let up.
Their strategy, as we talked about in the first half, they didn't seem to care about slowing the game down, and here in the fourth quarter, they're gassed, they're done because of how fast the game was in the first half, in part.
So an infraction on the faceoff will give possession to DeMatha. DeMatha with one more opportunity here to try to cut into the deficit and to try to score on Gonzaga.
Number 3 just got his hat trick and he went behind the back.
So Matthew Justice, again, has been quite a bright spot in tonight's contest. The senior, you have to love it for him, being a senior, to come in tonight. 24 goals on the year for Matthew Justice. So despite the fact I know he'd love to have the WCAC title to end his career, still to end in this contest with 3 goals for his team is a great effort by Matthew Justice. And now time running out. Your 2012 WCAC tournament champions, the Gonzaga Eagles, they will finish the season 20-1, their 3rd straight WCAC tournament title. Coach Casey O'Neill had his team ready to play. They've been ready to play all year long. This team that he felt like was such a special club, now finishing their season with the title. The trifecta, 3 in a row, it's hard to do, and they have just been dominating for the past few years in the WCAC. Again, their last loss was back in May of 2009.
Yeah, well-earned, impressive game by Gonzaga from the beginning to the end, absolutely dominated. Refs are trying to sort out a little rough housing that happened afterwards. I'm not sure they can do anything now, the season's over, so they just got to keep these boys who do not like each other much away from each other.
And so Gonzaga will get their trophy, and we will certainly have that coverage.
There's a big smile on Connor Reed.
Hopefully be able to speak with our winning coach and player of the game coming up, so you certainly want to stay tuned for that. But for this Gonzaga team, we've already talked a little bit about it, Kat, but I think it's worth repeating. There's no weak link on this team. They are good at every single area. They have been absolutely dominating. No one really has been able to figure them out other than that McDonough game. And that was a 6-5 loss. They only lost that game by 1 goal. 1 goal really the difference between perhaps a perfect season for Gonzaga.
They're gonna talk about this season for many, many years. This is the best season in Gonzaga history, no question now, it's official. So the alums are gonna be extremely proud, and could happen again. The way things are going with Gonzaga, but they're going to enjoy this one today.
Well, and this one was just a dominating win, to win 10-3 over a DeMatha team that finishes the season 11-10, 6-3. Really an impressive season for DeMatha. You can't take away from them. And again, the improvement that they had, certainly something to build off of. Going into next year, they have so much talent returning, so while I'm sure it hurts right now and stings with this loss, there is a lot to build off of, a lot.
Yeah, this is only Coach Scott Morrison's 3rd season, and that's why the future is bright. He's got a great sophomore class. The freshman class is coming up, he said, strong, and hopefully he's got a good group coming in next year.
Of course, 7 sophomores have been in starting roles for a lot of the season, so that's a lot of youth, that's a lot of game experience that they got this year that they're going to build off of. They will lose some players. They will lose Matthew Justice, for instance, who, again, the senior with the 3 big goals tonight. Want to continue to mention what an effort he had.
Yeah, he finished his senior year with on a nice note, nice hat trick. He's heading up to Shenandoah College, nice Division III program to play lacrosse at the next level.
And then, of course, our scoring for Gonzaga, it was a staggering 4 goals by Alex Corboy, 2 by Max Planning, 1 by Whitcomb, 1 by Fitzgerald, and the last one, the icing on the cake for Connor Reed, who had a frustrating day today because he draws so much attention, but players like Connor Reed eventually will not be denied because he is just that good.
Yeah, he showed a lot of poise. Being shut off is frustrating, and he had an amazing game and controlled tempo for Gonzaga offensively.
Really,
as they continue to get their championship T-shirts and trophy ceremony.
Really a special moment here for Gonzaga. And when you play together with teams like this, you become like family. So to share this moment with their teammates is something that they're going to remember for a very long time. Certainly the capstone of their season. They certainly wanted this very badly. They felt like it was theirs to win, and they did win it here tonight in an impressive 10-3 fashion. And we've talked so much about offense. Once again, just have to mention that Matt Borda, Luke Miller, and of course Jack Slater had such a good night on defense, really capping off the season that they have had, being so impressive. So going to be some huge losses on defense because Jack Slater only a junior, so they will not lose him or Matt Borda.
Brandon.
And now Leah Reich is standing with our winning coach, Casey O'Neill.
I'm here with the winning coach, Casey O'Neill. Casey, your guys got you a little wet there, didn't they?
Yeah, that was really cold, and I'm still feeling it right now.
All right, it's been an exciting year, third straight title, Coach of the Year. The Eagles had a great season. You must be very excited.
I'm very proud. It's a great group of kids that work hard. They put a lot of time in the offseason, and to go 20-1 and win a third straight doesn't get any better.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
So Casey O'Neill extremely happy with how well his team played tonight. So the only defender that Gonzaga will lose is, of course, Luke Miller, the senior, who is, as you said, going on to play at Hobart next year as Casey O'Neill heads off to celebrate with his team. And I think if you had to pick a player of the game, it would have to be Alex Corboy.
Yeah, no, he played great. I thought Max Planning played really well, and Connor Reed was outstanding. Actually, I thought on defense, Jack Slater was exceptional, and Borda played really, really well. Those guys were dominating, taking the ball away from the DeMatha kids. The attack went early in the game and just completely frustrated them. Didn't allow the DeMatha attack to do anything, and there you see him hoisting the giant trophy. That's a large trophy for a championship for high school. It's bigger than the Lombardi Trophy.
So you can certainly get a good look at it there. A towering trophy hoisted up by the Gonzaga Eagles. And again, Borda and Slater will be back next year. So Gonzaga's defense is just going to continue.
Alumni right here, Callan Capadonna. He's smiling and heading out, going to celebrate. All the alumni are very proud of this team. Congratulations to you, Gonzaga, for an exceptional season.
Absolutely. And of course, this game delayed 2 days because of the weather on Monday. So Gonzaga had to wait 2 days before the opportunity to battle for this WCAC tournament championship. And I'm sure it's just as sweet today as it would have been on Monday. The alumni have a lot to cheer and celebrate about, bragging rights for the next year. And with this rivalry, again, you have to imagine there's going to be a lot of bragging going on.
Well, these guys probably don't talk to each other very much. They'll get together a little bit this summer in the club lacrosse circuit and brush it out. But the Gonzaga team was just dominant this year. There's really no team in the area that scared them. The only close games they had were teams from Baltimore.
And so Gonzaga's season now over, but still additional lacrosse going on. You talked about St. Stephen, St. Agnes still playing. They're one of the IAC teams.
Northern Virginia Publics are still going.
Northern Virginia Public Schools still going. So still a lot of lacrosse being played in this area, but you have to imagine right now Gonzaga one of the favorites.
Yeah, I think we're doing the regional championship for Northern Virginia Public Schools here in a week or two in the MetroLAC series, and the Virginia State Public School Championship. So you can look for that coming up.
Absolutely. Langley a favorite in that Northern Region final for the boys.
Watch out for Oakton. Watch out for Oakton. They're the hot team right now, Monica.
Defeated Westfield in the Concord District Finals. That was a bit of a surprise. A lot of people were wondering where's Chantilly. Yeah. And it was Oakton that defeated Chantilly and then knocked off a Westfield team that had been hot as well. So the two favorites right now, you'd have to say Oakton and Langley, who won a tough Liberty District Final against Madison only by a goal. They could not win a face-off in that contest, but found a way to win.
I think Woodson also. Watch out for Woodson. Woodson is peaking at the right time. They won their Patriot Conference, being South County, a good South County team. Woodson could win it all. This year is very even. It's not like years past. I think Langley's got their hands full because they just squeaked by Madison the other day in the.
That's right.
In their district championship.
And then I think for the girls, the favorite has to be the Oakton girls. the Madison girls winning the girls Liberty District title by Langley. That was just a 1-goal game as well. So Madison banged up all season long, getting some revenge over their district rival. But Oakton, Madison, again, probably the favorites, and again, a great story in Northern Virginia because they are coached by 2 sisters-in-law, Jean Counts and Amanda Counts. They battled it out for the state final last year. A lot of people think they might be there once again this year, and Oakton looking to get a little revenge on Madison for Madison's undefeated year last year. So again, lots of great lacrosse coming up in the northern region. St. Stephen, St. Agnes, the boys still continuing to play, and the girls, Kathy Jenkins, one of the most well-known coaches in the DC metro area, just got her 600th win, which is extremely impressive. But if you know anything about Kathy Jenkins, it's no surprise.
She's got one of the best girls program in the country, year in, year out, and she has a factory over there. Those girls start playing over there in 3rd grade and go all the way through to 12th. Wrap it up.
Well, thanks so much for joining us for this WCAC tournament final. Again, Gonzaga, your winners. We'll see you next time at the Metro LAC Series live streamed at allmetsports.com.
Congrats, Eagles.